By now you must have heard about aimpoint putting or seen golfers putting their fingers out in front of their face, closing their non-dominant eye to see where to aim their putt. It's actually very, very simple. The basic premise is that you stand on a slope and feel the pressure on the side that's lowest. So when you stand on a slope like this, my left foot's higher, my right foot's lower, and I can feel more pressure on the right side. You correspond this feeling with a reading on a digital level. You actually practice this on a green before you go use it on the golf course. It doesn't even take long, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, to stand on a green, put the level down. It tells you a percentage of slope, and you feel in your feet, okay, that's what 3% feels like. That's what 2% feels like. That's what 1% feels like. So how do we assign a number of the slope to how we feel in our feet? We use the digital level and practice. You find a slope with 0%. That's what the digital level will tell you. That means it's flat. What you do is you straddle that line behind the level like that, and just give your knees a little bit of bend. You don't want to be straight leg because you can't feel anything, and give yourselves a couple seconds to feel, 2 to 3. After 2 or 3 seconds, your body will adjust to the balance of the land. So you don't want to go stiff leg, and you don't want to spend too long. So you walk in. If you want to close your eyes, you can. Just feel it. Okay, that's what 0 feels like. Then move to a slope with 1. Stand on it. Oh, okay, that's what it feels like in the lower foot. That's what 1 feels like. Practice it both sides of the slope so you get a feel in your left and right foot, and then you'll be able to assign a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Spend most of your time practicing in the 1, 2, and 3 area, because most greens you're going to play are going to be in the 1, 2, and 3 area, and they're very subtle. And it's actually very simple to do. You put your level down, you set it to percentage, you put it on the slope, you stand, you go, okay, that feels like 3. And it's 2.89%, absolutely perfect. You do this all the way around the green over and over. Let's say we put it over here. I stand on this slope, that feels like 3.2, and it's 3.4. Stand this side. Keep doing that for like an hour. Eventually you're going to start to get a feel for it, and it's going to be amazing how quickly your feet can adapt to this system. So you've practiced and you can feel the slope in your feet. Now you have to assign fingers to the number of slope. So if you have 1% slope, you use 1 finger. If you have 2% slope, 2 fingers. 3%, 3, 4%, 4, 5%, or 5 fingers. On a putt inside 6 feet, we have to do it just a little bit differently how we align our putts. Straddle my putting line and I feel a 3 in the left-hand side. Don't take too long, 2 or 3 seconds, and you got it. If you take too long, you're going to adapt to it, and don't lean into a slope because you won't feel anything at all. Just let your body naturally feel it, like loose legs, easy game. We've established this is 3. On putts inside 6 feet, we straddle the ball with our toes in line with the ball, and then you place your finger. If it's 1%, you place your finger over the middle of the hole where the pin would be, and on the outside edge of your finger is where you're going to aim the ball. If it's 2%, 3%, or 4%, we go to the lower edge of the hole when we line up our fingers. We don't line them up to the middle of the hole like a single finger. That's for putts inside 6 feet. Obviously, you need to calibrate to the speed of your greens. When you put your finger further from your face, that means that you're going to have less break because your finger gets smaller in perspective. That you use for slower greens. As your speeds get quicker, you bend your elbow and bring your finger closer to your face, or fingers closer to your face, thereby making them appear bigger, giving you more break. You have to calibrate to your green speed. These are rolling at probably about a 9.5, 10. So I straddle my ball, toes in line with the ball. I close my non-dominant eye. I know it's 3%. I stick the left edge of my 3 fingers on the lower edge of the hole, pretty far from my face, and I see that my line is right over here. That's my line. That's it. And that's not the apex. That's where I start the ball toward the hole. And then it's going to take the break into the cup. So 3% slope has put us 3% outside the hole. This is the point. It's not the apex, it's the aiming spot for your putt. So we try to aim this ball along the straight line, and it breaks into the cup. So of course you need the correct speed to get the ball into the cup, and that speed and the green speed will determine how far from your face you put the fingers. That's the aiming spot that you should be aiming at to hit the ball toward. The apex putting that most people do is they hit toward the apex on a straight line and it misses low. That's why I like Aimpoint, because it allows me to know that's a spot to aim at, rather than trying to see and feel how to get the ball to roll over the apex, which is what I normally would do for putting. Let's take a look at a longer putt. On 7 to 20 foot putts, we have to find the low side. So I'm standing over here over my ball, toes in line with it. I'm feeling 2.5 in my right side. I come to about the middle of the putt, see where the slope is kind of big, and I'm feeling like 2.8. So I'm feeling like 2.5, 2.8 left to righter. So I'm going to go with 3. I feel like this is a 3. I'm going to put my 3 fingers up. So for anything over 6 feet, we align the fingers to the middle of the cup. And then on the edge is where we're going to aim the ball. And I see my aiming point is out about here. That's the aiming line it's giving me. And then let's see how that performs for us. Wow, that might be a little more than I would have taken reading it normally. Let's see if we can start this on the line. Not too bad, not too bad. So we may need to calibrate for green speed here. And this one might actually have to be a little bit wider. And this is part of the practice, okay? You have to practice this stuff and to calibrate to your golf course. This is part of the practice process. Maybe I got the slope wrong. I have to recalibrate with my level and just double check. So on putts outside 20 feet, we want to get 2 reads. 1/3 of the way to the hole to figure out which way it's going. Wow, that's about 1 in my right foot, so it's going left to right. And then the final third, that's about 1.5 in my left foot, so right to left. Yep, exactly 1.48. So I think the first half of this putt is not going to break that much because of the speed, but because it's downhill, it's going to take way more break at the end. As we know, downhill putts are quicker, so I may have to put my finger closer to my face. You know, this is going to take time to calibrate. So if I'm going to take 1.5, I'm going to stick my thumb up and go pretty close to my face. Okay, I have my aiming spot right over here. This is my aiming spot. Let's see how that works out for me. We do have considerable wind here, so it's a little bit toward the left side of the actual line. So I'm going to try start this toward the real start line. Let's see what happens. Does it come in? Does it come in? It actually works. This stuff actually works. This is unbelievable. I really wanted this not to work because it's like one of those things you see people do and you think it's pretentious, but the freaking thing works. It's good, eh? That's what you need. You need a digital level that you set to percentage. You figure out how much percent and how it feels in each foot. You work on that, you actually practice that. That's your main practice. And then you practice calibrating your fingers to the amount of slope and how far from your face. This is incredibly reliable. I know it may seem slow, but once you get used to it, it's actually very, very quick. And the biggest advantage I found for it, it just gives me so much commitment when I just say, okay, that's my point, and it's gone. That's free from my mind, no doubt about where I'm hitting the golf ball, which when you're putting, decisive putting and committed putting is much better than, whoa, where the hell's the ball going putting? So this is actually how I discovered using Aimpoint works and why a lot of people are under-reading their putts, because my caddy is very good at reading a putt according to the apex. And I think a lot of us are putting to an apex because we got told that's how you read a putt. But when you putt to an apex on a straight line, that's when you miss putts. So let's have a look at that. So my caddy's going to give me a read here, and she's going to put something on the green exactly where she thinks this putt's going to break. Okay? Okay. This is a 1-ball putting line. So sometimes terminology and perceptions of people can be very different. So let's say that's the apex. Okay, so that's below the apex, hitting directly at it. Let's try go around it. Now we have a great putt, right? But we have to go around that apex. So that's the apex line, meaning that we're going to hit directly to the apex, so we're going to miss low as you saw in the first putt. That's why Aimpoint is more powerful than trying to envision a putt that goes over the apex. So we notice that the apex is a bit too low to aim directly toward. So what we want to actually know is the Aimpoint number to see if that's really going to correspond with where we want to go. And we get the correct pace and it goes in the hole without going way past the hole. So let's try again on the apex line. It always looks close, but it's always missing low. This is why people say take more break on your putts, like Paddy Harrington will say take more break on your long putts. It's because we're just putting to an apex. That's not the right pace, but you can see how getting the correct pace, you know, should stop the ball about here. But if you go too low, your correct pace to even touch the hole is going to leave you a comeback of 3-4 feet. That's how you use Aimpoint Express. I've been using it, and I must say my putting has vastly improved because of the commitment to the line by using the fingers and the feeling in the feet. Do most of your training from 1, 2, and 3%, especially 1 and 2, because it's very subtle, and most of the greens you play are going to have that, especially when you have putts inside 20 feet a lot of the time.